Hi, welcome back. So we're going to be working through some hip work today. It's probably the number one request that I get in teaching yoga classes, especially as part of the new year too. We experience a lot of cold weather, our hips start to ache. When it's rainy, our hips start to ache. And we do, if you understand and know a little bit more about emotional, where we hold our emotions, we hold a lot of the fear of moving on or giving in or letting go into our hips. So January and February roll around and you've got New Year's resolutions and you're letting go of a lot of things in your life. All of that can kind of start coming through in the hips as well. So we're going to move through a few poses that you're able to do at home. I do recommend that you have 2 blocks if you'd like, maybe a bolster, maybe even a strap that you can use throughout your practice. If you don't have any of these things, that's okay too. You can use blankets or a belt or a large pillow. So to get started, we're just gonna warm up a little bit. On your mat, let's go ahead and shift into your tabletop. In your tabletop, checking in that the elbow is over the wrist and underneath the shoulder, and that your hips are over your knees. Inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the chest forward. Lift your face forward into your cow. And then exhale, curl through the hips, drop the chin down to the mat. I'm just gonna do about 3 rounds. Inhale. Exhale. If you're comfortable with your Ujjayi breath, maybe restricting the back of the throat a little bit to create that ocean sound through the breath, in and out through the nose. Coming back to center, you're going to shift your weight over to your left knee and then lift the right leg straight just until it comes to about hip height. Let's roll the ankles out a little bit and reverse. Lift and touch down. Warm up just a little bit. Lift up and touch. Lift up, touch. One more time. Long through the 4 sides of the neck. And then either just drag the toes all the way over to the right, or you can come here by lifting, externally rotating and bringing that foot over to the right and placing the foot down onto the ground, toes forward in front of you. Inhale, shift your weight over to the right towards the foot, and then back over and around. So these hip circles can be as small or as large as you'd like them to. Also maybe as high or as low as you'd like them to as well. Maybe rolling around through the foot and the knee. And when you're ready, reversing. Exhale over to the right, forward, back, and around. The slower you go, you might be able to experience more pathways open, and the faster, definitely some more warmth, creating a little bit of energy through the hip. Coming back to center, let's bring that foot right back behind us, and then underneath the hips again. Inhale, let's do 3 cat-cows. Exhale, curl the spine up towards the sky, drop the head, relax. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale. Last time. Back to center. Once again, feel free to just keep that left toe tucked underneath the body, or maybe lift, engage the big toe, spinning that left knee and toe down towards the ground, And you can tap the toe down to the mat, or you can externally rotate and bring back around to the left. Touch the foot down to the earth, toes forward, and once again, inhale. Exhale, shift the weight over to the right, back, over and around. Over to the left, back and around. 3 times at your own height and pace. Maybe letting that toe roll out, knees. When you're ready, coming back and reversing. Over, forward, and around. You can bring a little bit of the body into it too. Don't forget to breathe. Back and around. And once again, maybe just bringing that left leg back underneath you. Hips over the knees. Let's bring the toes together and widen the knees about mat width apart as we move into Balasana, so child's pose. Shift the hips towards the heels, still leading with the heart. Hands forward, maybe coming down to your elbows here. Lift your heart forward. Maybe coming all the way down, chin or chest or forehead on the mat. 3 more deep breaths here. You can also place your fingers on the mat, lift the elbows, or drop into a passive stretch. Continuing with those hip circles, let's walk our hands back forward towards us, shift forward into your tabletop. And you're going to take the right knee forward and maybe help it there if that feels good to you as well. So take that right foot forward in front of you, bringing the knee right over the toes here. It's going to be in line with your shoulder, and you can place the hand on the outside of the foot or maybe on the inside of the foot. Checking in still that your hip is over your left knee. So take a moment just to find that space, because as you can see, I shifted back. This left hip is over my knee, but my right knee is now no longer over my right foot. So let's bring that right foot back a little bit. Make sure that your right knee's over your right heel and hip is over the left knee. Coming down here, we're going to now move into a little bit more hip circles. So just shifting forward, side and around, forward, side and around. And this is where the blocks can come really in handy if this feels good to you. Maybe bringing your hands to the blocks and shifting your weight. In this case, the knees are going to rotate forward, back, and around the ankle, kind of creating little circles here. And when you're ready, bringing that right knee underneath the hip and bring the left knee forward. Check with your alignment. Knee is over the heel, hip is over the knee. Maybe find that place where that makes it so. Taking advantage of your blocks to lift your shoulders up and lift the heart open. Let's shift the weight forward and around, forward and around. Good job. Let's reverse. Warming out through the hip flexors, sciatic, all of these parts of our hip. And when you're ready, pulling that left knee in. This time, shifting the blocks off to your side, coming back to a child's pose, but rounding forward. So knees are together, drop back towards your heels, hands down by the sides of you, and roll the head, neck, and shoulders down to the earth. 2 breaths here. Awesome job. Rolling back up or taking a flat spine up, whatever really feels comfortable to you. We're going to come forward, shifting to the left, Shift and tuck the toes back. Bring the feet underneath the body into a little bit of a squat, and then bring the hands to the knees, press the heels down. From this place, let's just step the foot out to the right and out to the left, walking the heel in on either side. And then inhale into your goddess squat. Just take a few moments here. Palms can be out to the side or maybe still onto the hips. Shoulders over the hips, knees over the ankles or the toes, depending on what feels good to you. Maybe step it out a little bit more, bringing those knees right down the midline of the ankle, and then shifting over that middle toe, widening and opening through the knees, spinning out and open, gripping the floor down with the toes. Let's just take 2 more breaths here. Exhale. So now we're going to tilt the toes forward and heels back, placing the hands down on the mat. So toes come forward, heels come back, knees come to a triangle in front of you, and you can take the hands to the mat or grab your blocks and bring your hands to your blocks. Our goal here is that we're going to experience a flatness through the spine. So you're going to tilt forward with the hips, engage through the top of the legs, and lift out with the heart. And this might be where you are today. Feel free to stay here. Really long through the 4 sides of the neck and the spine. Or maybe you'd like to set the blocks off to the side once again. Bring the hands to the floor. Or maybe it feels really good to hold on to the ankles. Once again, lift and tilt, maybe bend the elbows, and roll down through the spine. Let's just take 3 more breaths wherever you are. Internally rotating through the hip, pulling up through the top of the knees. And walk back up. Hands underneath the heart. Hands back to your waist, elbows together, reach out through the heart. Let's come flat back all the way up, allowing the blood to rush down and away from the head and the face. Take a few breaths here, great job. And toe heel the toes together, bend through the knees to protect the knees. Bringing your hands down to the mat. Let's come all the way back down. We're going to come into a couple variations of our pigeon. So depending on how comfortable you feel today and what feels good, I really just recommend that you listen to your body. Also, a common word that's really important to remember is your edge in your yoga practice. Your edge is going to be very different than someone else's, but the great thing is that you're both experiencing the same blissful, wonderful experience of yoga. So if one person's pigeon is deeper and lower to the ground and more open, they're experiencing the same great, awesome feelings that you're experiencing no matter what. So please just remember to go to your edge and not someone else's on either side of you. So we're going to start with our pigeon on our back. So coming to what feels comfortable to you, once again, bring the feet flat to the floor. And we're going to shift forward towards the middle of the mat. Place the hands down at the base of the knees or underneath the knees if that feels good for you as well. And roll down the spine, planting that vertebra into the ground. Maybe this feels really good too. A little bit of a massage. And then exhale, hands down to the mat. Inhale, walk the feet in a little bit more. Bring the right knee into the chest. Take the right foot with the left hand up towards your left shoulder, externally rotating through the knee, and place the right foot on top of the left knee. This might be all you want today. This might be your edge. Please feel free to stay here. Ooh, we worked up a little bit of a sweat today already with those hip rolls. Please feel free to stay here. This might feel really good just to let gravity drop the right knee away from you. If you'd like a little bit more, you can feed the right hand through the body, through the knees, take the left hand underneath the left knee, and then using your right elbow to guide the right knee away, drop the left knee in towards the chest. Now, check on your feet here. As you can see, my toes are highly engaged, right? I didn't forget about the energy that's coming out through my toes. What that does is it sends a little message to your body to still remember what you're feeling here. Still stay engaged. Once again, this might be enough for you today. Feel free to stay here. Or maybe bring that left knee a little bit more into the body, checking in that you're still long through the spine, grounded towards the earth. Another variation here that could feel good, and it completely depends on what you want to play with today, is to take the right foot into the bend of the left elbow and the right knee into the bend of the right elbow, interlacing the fingers and then extending the leg down towards the earth. This feels really good if you're super tight in your hip flexors on the left side or your sciatic nerve on the right. But it can be very intense, so please feel free to back out at any time or take it to your edge and just breathe here. So whichever position you're in, we're going to take 3 more breaths. Exhale. Don't forget about the energy through the feet. Inhale. Exhale. Drop the shoulders down to the floor. Relax the neck. Inhale. Exhale. Great job. Bend that left knee, planting the left foot flat to the floor once again. And this time, we're going to extend the right leg on top of the left, just like we're seated in a chair. And then allow the hands to come out from your sides and allow the knees over to the left. Maybe the head comes to the right, stretching through the right IT band, and it massages the left glute as well. Inhale back to center, and then exhale over. Back to center. Release the crossed leg, and let's come on to our left side. Often we avoid our left side because it's not dominant or it doesn't feel as good or we're not as flexible, and just notice the differences in your left and right side and don't cheap yourself out. Left knee comes into the chest, taking a hold of the right hand with the left foot. And then place the left foot down onto the right knee. Maybe just stay here. Maybe even bring the palms of your hands onto your thighs for a little bit more grounding. If you'd like to go further, maybe bringing the left hand through the knees and holding underneath the right knee, using this left elbow here to guide the left knee away. Allow the right knee to drop in towards the chest. Check in with the lower spine. Maybe you'd like to stay here. Or maybe you'd like to come into a cradle, taking the left foot into the bend of the right elbow and left elbow into the bend of the left knee. Extend the right leg down to the earth. Drop the shoulders down. So even I can feel my shoulders rise up off the ground here. I almost want to bring my head up. I almost just want to, find a comfortable spot here. Maybe this means it's a little bit too much for you and drop back, right? But if you want to stay here, allow the shoulders and the neck and the arms and the chest to open back to the earth. Let's take 3 breaths in whatever place you are today. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Great job. Bend that right knee, planting the flat foot on the ground. Extend the left leg over the right. Maybe allow the hands to come down or all the way out from your side, maybe bending the elbows into goalpost arms. And then extend the legs over to the right, maybe taking a look to the left. Exhale back to center. Inhale. And then exhale, drop to the left. Awesome. Coming back. Release your bind. Allow the left arm to extend over the head. And let's shift onto our left side. Then take the right hand to the mat and come back up to seated. So that's your pigeon. It's a much more comfortable pigeon on your back. If you'd like a little bit more of an extension, we're gonna work through pigeon Kapotasana upwards. So turning long ways towards your mat, come back to your tabletop. You're gonna extend the right foot and place it against your left hand, and then shift the weight over to the right, allowing that shin to come down to the ground, and then shift the left leg long. So if this right shin is kind of horizontal and coming down, that's okay too. Also, if you need a block and you're not able to place the hands on the ground immediately, that's fine as well. Coming to your edge once again. If you have your block here, maybe bringing your forearms to the mat. Allow the right leg to externally rotate, and the left leg is coming and rounding, internally rotating. So this left hip is dropping down so that the knee and the top of the foot or the toes are down onto the ground. On the right side, maybe you're walking this right foot forward a little bit so that you come into a full 90-degree angle with that right side of the hip. As long as you're still able to keep this left side down, if that's a little bit too intense, which it is for a lot of people, and it takes a lot of time and stretching to move that right foot forward, let's just bring it back a little bit. Additionally, if you feel like you're a little bit too high here, this is a great place to bring the block underneath the right bottom side, right? So this really lifts you up and off so that you can experience this pose upright, taking this block once again, and bringing your forearms forward. So in this pose, we're really, really letting gravity do its work for us, right? Rather than the other way around, we're using our body to create that traction for Kapotasana. Coming to whatever edge feels really good. Maybe remove the block. Maybe fingertips down on the ground, lifting the chest forward. Maybe walking the hands all the way down to your elbows. Taking a breath there. Check in with the energy of your toes. Maybe walking the hands all the way down and in front of you. Dropping their head and your chest to the mat. Depending on where you are, let's just take 3 more breaths. In through the nose. Imagine your hips spiraling. Internal through the left and external to the right. Imagine a release. Great job. Walk your hands back underneath you. Tuck the left toes. Let's lift the left knee up. Place some power down onto your palms and come back into your tabletop. Very nice. Bring that left leg forward, maybe onto the right hand, so that it allows room for your left knee to drop open. And then shift your weight back all the way down, or taking that block underneath the left side body. Maybe this left foot walks in a little bit. That's okay. Experiment with walking out a little bit. If you're forward, that's okay too. Take advantage of your block. Bring your forearms to the block. But most importantly, experience this spiraling. So the right leg now is internally rotated so that the top of the foot and the knee are facing your mat. Maybe you'd like to experience that a little bit more. Tuck the right toes under. You really can't tuck the right toes under if you're externally rotated through that back hip. Through the left hip, we're experiencing an opening. Find your edge. Exhale, walk the hands forward. 3 deep breaths. Maybe telling your hips to let go, that it's okay to move on, to move forward. Maybe greater things are coming. Last breath. Great job. Walk the hands back under the shoulders. Tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee, and pull that left knee back underneath you. Coming back, we're gonna come into hero pose. So use your blocks here if you'd like. Hero pose, we're going to bring our bottom right through our ankles to the floor. If that's really, really intense on the knees, you can take a block and put it right underneath your bottom, lifting your body up just a little bit more. If this is as far as you go today, awesome. Congratulations, your first hero. You can feel really good through the top of the thighs, aligning the feet with the shins. Sitting tall and strong, really grounding through your sit bones on that block, and roll the shoulders back and down. Place the back of the palms onto the legs. Allow your eyes to close, and take advantage of this space and this time that you have on your mat. If you'd like a little bit more today for the internal rotation and the stretch through the hip flexors, maybe release the block. Come more towards the center of your mat. Sit down through the heels. Maybe that means walking those feet out a little bit more. And maybe starting here, right? This feels really, really good and like your edge. Feel free to stay right here. Or maybe you'd like to bring one hand behind you and the other, opening and rolling out through the shoulders. Maybe you'd like to come back onto your elbows. Maybe you'd like to come all the way down to your shoulders, maybe moving anything out of the way. And allow the hands to either come down by your sides or crisscross the arms over the head. No matter where you are. Let's take 3 more breaths there. This is a great counter stretch for pigeon, where we had all of that external rotation and stretch. You may experience a little bit of tension in the lower back, also releases through the lumbar spine. Last breath. Great job. Bring the hands back beneath and beside you. Bend the elbows and come back up the same way you went down. First, coming onto your elbows, then onto the hands, and then shifting forward onto your knees. We're going to come all the way back and face once again together. And our final pose, our butterfly or fire log. So you have 2 options here. Once again, I love giving modifications because then everyone gets to participate. So fire log pose is where we'll start. So if you could take the right foot on top of, left foot on top of the right knee, and then left knee on top of the right foot. This left knee might be up in the air, and that's okay. This is a great way to, once again, let gravity do its work and externally rotate through that left hip. Maybe just staying there for a few moments, taking the hands to either side, rolling the shoulders back, allowing that left knee to drape down on top of the right foot, engaged through the feet. Let's take 3 breaths here in this fire log. You don't have to close your eyes, but it can feel really relaxing and opening to do so. Last breath. Great job. Place your hands behind you, fingertips forward. Release back and bring the base of the feet to the ground. We're just going to do a couple of shifts. So shift over to the right and then over to the left. Coming back, we're going to do the opposite side now. We're going to bring the left leg down, externally rotated, and then take the right foot to the left knee and the right knee to the left foot. And once again, if this right knee does not drop down to the earth, that is okay. That's why you're here. That's why you're on your mat. I can't tell you how many times people say, oh, I don't go to yoga because I'm not flexible. That's why we all come to our mat, right? So let's just take some time here to let gravity do its work on this right side. Maybe this knee is not dropped down. Check in with the feet that you still have energy there, that your shoulders are over your hips. Maybe let that knee open up, whatever feels really good to you today. Maybe you even have a pillow or something propped under there. But let's take 3 more breaths into this other side. Once again, you're welcome to keep your eyes open and focus on one point in the room, or me on the TV or your phone. Or you're welcome to close your eyes, go a little bit more internally, maybe rise the palms up here. Two more breaths in through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Sending some oxygen down to those hips to open and let go. Last time. Awesome. And as an alternative to our fire log, or in addition to our fire log, our final pose is on our butterfly. So right from here, you're just gonna walk your feet out, put the soles of your feet together, And your knees might be up here, rising up towards the sky, or they may be drifting down. Whatever is working today. Every day is different, every body is different, and every little pose is different. So you have a few options with your hands. You can wrap them around your little big toes, pulling those elbows in, really reaching up, strong and straight through the back. Maybe underneath the feet, still engaged through the feet. Or maybe place the hands right here on your knees. Just give yourself a little bit of massage. You're more than welcome to stay upright or walk your hands forward a little bit, coming onto your elbows. And walking your hands back. That's it for today's hips, but stay tuned for more as we bring more ways to open and relax, let go and move forward. Thank you and have a great day.